And now I'd like to introduce our next guest, Stephen Mosteller of the Dominican Opera Society. Now, the only Delaware arts organization featured in the National Endowment of the Arts Directory is the Dominican Opera Company. And they were formed 8 years ago as a professional chamber-style opera company. They're extremely mobile. They haul their performances all around the state and throughout the area, and they'll set up and perform anywhere. And their musical director is here tonight, Stephen Mosteller. Stephen, welcome.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
Stephen, you know, this is a traveling opera company, and what is your purpose? And isn't this rather a rare phenomenon?
It's not rare, but it's unique in this area. Lots of arts groups are forming small organizations so that they can be portable and economical. And we're unique because I think we are one of the few, very few, groups who do take chamber opera to public schools. And we operate in a 6-state area, actually. So I think you'll find that we are the only one in Delaware who does this, and we've done many performances in Delaware public schools, and we're branching out into Philadelphia area, New Jersey, and even have some feelers as far away as Ithaca, New York.
Wow, you are extended. Well, you know, the places you perform are quite extensive, but you're all professionals too, and that's the amazing thing. Where do you get your professional talent, and how are they trained?
Well, training, everyone has basically the same sort of training. We all have studied privately on the East Coast, New York, Philadelphia, Baltimore, some have gone west, and we've all just sort of gathered in this area. And the opera company formed around a core of 3 or 4 people who did all the hard work and got it all set up, and just in the past season has expanded to include enough people now that the roles are double cast and more people can get some employment. So we're all basically geographically within 30 or 40 miles and drive to rehearsals here in Wilmington, and drive also to the jobs packed out of the back of a station wagon.
That's, you look like you have to do a makeshift operation. I mean, I'm really proud of what you've done.
Well, we've got it down to a science.
Yes.
Our stage manager is just incredible. You wouldn't believe the amount of material he can cram into a station wagon to give a nice-looking set for production.
How are you funded, by the way?
Funding has come from a number of different sources. We have money from the Delaware State Arts Council. We have money also from the National Endowment. We're seeking to expand with them. And in the past, we have gotten monies from DuPont Corporation, Brandywiners, a number of other private sources that don't come immediately to mind. But that's always a problem. Funding is for any arts group, to grow is to survive. If you don't grow, you stagnate, and then eventually you don't keep going. So we're constantly trying to expand our funding base, which is why publicity like this is so helpful.
You know, we had spoken before we came on the show, and you had expressed a desire to have a permanent set, a permanent stage. Why is that so important?
Well, when we want to expand our audience, we perform now for school kids, we have to go to the community. And we have expanded somewhat. We're doing college performances and some community performances. But to have a theater that was our own or use someone else's facility, doesn't really matter who owns the stage, as long as we have some place that we could give a season with orchestral forces. Right now we perform with piano because it's portable and economical. But that's a long-range goal. The most important thing to remember is when we want to expand our audiences, we have to let people know how to contact us. And we are sponsored by groups. We've had, for example, interest by the Rotary Club, who would sponsor us, for example, for a performance for one of their groups and invite other people to see it. This is the way we work. Unfortunately, that didn't work out. It was a funding problem. So that's why we need more attention, more publicity. We've got some articles in the paper. But when we're limited to schools, sometimes the kids don't come home and tell the parents about it the first thing off, so the name does not get around. Basically, that's what we're looking for, people to become aware that we are available and there are funding sources. One of the most important is we were elected by the National Endowment and the Delaware State Arts Council to the Mid-Atlantic Arts Consortium, which is a very important group. They will provide matching funds for performances. So, or perhaps even better than matching funds, a group can pay a certain percentage of it and the Mid-Atlantic Arts Consortium will pay the rest.
Well, you know, I know people would like to reach the opera company. Briefly, could you tell us where they could if they want to get involved or contribute?
It's very easy. Our general manager, June Kaysen, you can reach her at her home phone, 478-6613. And another way, we maintain an office at the Wilmington Music School.
Oh, very nice. Well, Right now, I'd like to say goodbye to you, or we're going to have to move along. We're running out of time. But stick around because there's much more on the